Welcome Primary 4, Mr. Ahmed is with you. Today we will start our new concept, Concept 4. In this concept we will study how the living organisms communicate with each other. As a human, we communicate with each other by speaking, writing, and reading. So when you are talking to someone, so you are communicating with him. I am talking to you now, and you listen to me. So I am communicating with you. So writing and reading, all of these ways of communication between the living organisms. In this lesson, we will know the communication between the fireflies petals and the whales. Let's start with the fireflies petals. The fireflies petals, all of them can communicate with each other by lightening their bodies. As you can see, this is the part of the firefly that can make light. And it can make light because there is a chemical reaction happening inside their bodies. What is the meaning of chemical reaction? Substance put on another substance and they react with each other. This reaction produces the light. So two substances reacting with each other inside the firefly's bodies. This reaction produces the light. Okay, and they use their wings to flash. What is the meaning to flash? To turn on and turn off this light. So the fireflies use the light to communicate with each other. As you can see, it can light their bodies. Can you see? That's the flash, and it's use their wings to flash. Why the fireflies communicate with each other? To warn off predators and to attract the mate. What is the meaning warn off predators? Predators meaning the enemies. Okay, to tell itself that there is an enemy and they start to escape, and also to attract the mate. What is the meaning of the mate? The other living organism or the other insect that will come and marry it. Okay, that's called mate. So the fireflies light their bodies to warn off predators or enemies and to attract the mate to marry or reproduce. As you can see, the fireflies make flash in regular or in pattern. Okay, the way that they flash their bodies, it is a way of communication. Okay, and every group of fireflies understand the way of flash as a way to communicate. Okay, so the flashing of their bodies, it's a language between the fireflies that every member in the group of the firefly understand it. But every group of the firefly has its own language or has its own flash. They flash their bodies. Every group has its different way to flash their bodies and communicate with each other. So when two groups of the fireflies meet each other, they will not understand each other because each group has its own way to flash its body, so they will not understand each other. So what will happen if there is a group of fireflies nearby another group of fireflies? One of them will change the light of their bodies or the flash of their bodies to be the same flash of the other group. So the two groups can understand each other. Okay? And we also as a human use light to communicate with each other, like the traffic light. All of us know that the red meaning stop and the green light meaning go, right? So we use light to communicate with each other as a humans, like the fireflies. So the fireflies can communicate with each other by lightening their bodies and using their wings to flash. What is the meaning of flash? Turn on and turn off the light. And each group of the fireflies has its own flash or has its own pattern to flash their bodies. If there's two groups meet each other from the fireflies, one of these group will make the same flash of the other group so the two groups can understand each other. And don't forget that the fireflies communicate with each other by flash their bodies to warn of predators or enemies, and to attract the mate to marry or reproduce. Okay, the language it's something that make difference between humans and animals. Animals have language, they can talk, they have speech. No, so language and speech make difference between humans and animals. And the humans make language from many years ago. Let's learn or know the language in Egypt, Iraq, and Central America from many years ago. Let's start with Egypt. The people who lived in Egypt from 3,000 years ago, we call them Egyptians or ancient Egyptians. They make a or create a language which is called hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics language. This language, as you can see, it consists of 700 symbols. That's a symbol. Each one of them, it's a symbol. So what is the name of this language? Hieroglyphics. In Iraq, the people who live in Iraq from 3,000 years ago, we call them Babylonians. 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 The Babylonians create a language which is called cuneiform drawings. As you can see, that's the cuneiform drawings. But in Central America, the people who live in Central America in the past, we call them Mayans. We call them Mayans. The Mayans create another language which is called hieroglyph. Hieroglyph. And that's the hieroglyph, okay? And this hieroglyph language is consists of 800 symbols or 800 signs. So don't forget that the Egyptian make hieroglyphics language. But in Iraq, the Babylonians make cuneiform drawings. In Central America, the Mayans make hieroglyph language. Okay, we made paper from many years ago. Paper in old ages, the ancient Egyptian create a type of paper which is called papyrus. This papyrus paper made from plant which is called reed. As you can see, that's the reed plant. This reed plant grow in the both sides of the Nile River. So the ancient Egyptian make a type of paper which is called papyrus, and we made it from reed plant. And also the Chinese make a form of paper. This paper is called Chinese paper, and they made this paper from plant called mulberry and bamboo. That's the mulberry plant and that's the bamboo plant. So the ancient Egyptian make a type of paper which is called papyrus from plant reed. But the Chinese make a Chinese paper from two plants which are mulberry and bamboo. Thank you for listening. Miss Hiba Ahmad was with you.